Yes. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy July 8th. We're 8 days into the month. Hopefully you guys are working on your goals for Icon, because all of us, guys, August 31st, Icon, not an option, right? I mean, drop a 1 in here if you're planning on earning Icon by August 31st. John's going to earn it 4 times. Good job. Seriously, like, it's a non-negotiable because that's the kind of fire that we all need to show up with our businesses, and have those goals and have the fire enough to know, like, it's non-negotiable, and hopefully you're duplicating that down to your team. Okay, so today, I know the last couple of weeks we've talked about mental toughness on Tuesdays, but what I've been seeing, I've been in this business for about 10 years. What I've been seeing is how mental toughness is such a huge, probably one of the most important components that you need in order to be a business owner. And that's just the truth of it. So a filter that I've been putting a lot of, in my mind, I'll put through the filter of, would John Maxwell, how would he handle the situation? I ask, like, how would John Maxwell, Ed Mylett, what would they do in this situation? And a lot of times it's like, this is business. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't get caught up in the emotional turmoil of things because it's business. Like, we're going to have situations arise where we have to look at it and think, am I going to succumb to this, or am I going to rise above it and have mental toughness? Well, I know, like, if John Maxwell might have a bad day, at the end of the day, he's still doing the things because he's a business owner, right? Like Ed War, when he becomes, the #1 network marketing coach in the world, it's like he's a business owner. And we have to look at that as well. This is not a social club. This is not, hey, let's have fun with our supplements. Yes. Do we have a good time? Do we have all those relationships? Yes. But the reality is, if you're showing up at Power 30, I'm assuming you would identify yourself as a business owner. So we're going to dive into mental toughness again, because I think it's one of those that can easily be overlooked. John and I, it's funny because last week when John talked about mental toughness, I'm like, oh man, I really want to talk more about it because I think it's just such an important component. So I'm going to, and it's the fire that fuels us. Just remember that, like, if you want to hit your goals, you've got to have mental toughness, because there'll be days that you don't want to show up, that you don't want to do the things. Ed Mylett says, you will never always be motivated, so you must learn to be disciplined. That's just reality. We've got to learn to be disciplined. Sometimes when I go to bed at 1 a.m., I don't want to wake up at 6. But because of the discipline because I've learned, if I do sleep in more and I don't wake up at 6, I know how my day goes. And I don't like it. I just don't like it. So I know if I have the goal of hitting Icon by August 31st and it's August 15th, and then I decide, oh, I better start getting busy working towards this goal, I know I'm not going to like that feeling. So part of it is experience, right? Just learning the things that you don't want to feel, the things that you don't want to, have happen that is in my control, that I just don't want to be a part of. So we talk a lot about belief in action, but we're going to just dive deeper into the science of why some people keep showing up when others quit. You've been around a while, you have noticed sometimes people quit, and it's like, it's a time of reflection of, I wonder why, right? Like, why do some people say that they want it, say they want to go diamond, and then the next day they're gone? You guys, I literally have had people hit emerald on my team. They go on the emerald extravaganza and then they don't work another day. You know what I mean? It's just kind of crazy, right? But I think, and people say, well, what happened? I'm like, well, they didn't want to work through their stuff. They were not mentally tough. It is who you become. It is who you become. And I can tell you, on your last day of breathing, on your deathbed, you want to look back and think, man, I'm so thankful that I, worked through those hard things, because we got this one life. So we're going to talk about the brain. Okay. And I'm in gut health. I love the science behind gut health. I love the science behind mental toughness. It's like, why can Kobe Bryant tear his Achilles tendon and go and make 2 more baskets in a game and then walk himself off the court? Why is that? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's mental toughness. So into the power of your brain, your habits, and the God-given ability, you have to become mentally unstoppable. And you know what? It's the same with Plexus. It doesn't matter what you are, whether you're a parent, whether you have a job, whether you're doing your Plexus business. We have to become mentally unstoppable. There's a guy, I'm at the gym right now. A guy just drove off. That guy's there every single time I'm there. Not that I'm there a ton, but he literally works out 5 days a week. He's mentally unstoppable. And then he works really hard at his day job. So mental toughness isn't hype. This is not hype. This is not me firing you up. It's literally biology, neuroplasticity, and deliberate training. So the good news, you guys, we can learn to be mentally tougher. We can learn this. One of the times that I've had to be the most mentally tough in my life was after having my daughter Addison. She is my 5th baby, and I had to have a C-section. And the day after she was born, she had to be ambulanced over to Vanderbilt because she had all kinds of health issues. And so I checked myself out of the hospital, and she was in the NICU, and the nurse there, they told me that I needed to nurse her every 2 hours, like get up and nurse her every 2 hours. So I would sleep at the hospital, have an alarm set with that, like right after having major surgery with my C-section, without any crazy pain meds, because I couldn't have crazy pain meds because of just the situation. And I'll remember that was probably one of the most mentally tough things I've ever had to do, was get up. My body would be shaking because the pain was so intense. But I had to do it. Like, it was a non-negotiable to me. I knew my baby needed me. I knew that I had to go. What was best for her was that I go and nurse her every 2 hours, just because of everything that was going on. And after that, that just showed me, like, mind over matter is a real thing. Like, you know how it is when you're a parent. It's like, you'll do anything for your babies, right? If that's something that they truly, truly need, you'd do anything for them. You'd kill for them. You'd die for them. And that experience with being in so much pain and my body just wanting to shut down, like, it literally showed me mind over matter is a real thing. So champions, they play hurt, and their brains adapt to the pressure. So John Maxwell says, you don't overcome challenges by making them smaller, but by making yourself bigger. So all of us are going to have challenges in Plexus, but we don't overcome challenges by making the challenges smaller, but by making ourselves bigger. So, like, think about a rank up. When you're going for a rank up, you become bigger by what? How do you become bigger when going for a rank up? You learn new skills. You do the things that are uncomfortable, right? And that you make yourself bigger in order to be ready for that next rank up. So here's the science. Your brain has a stress response system called the amygdala. And I know Megan has talked about this. I know we've talked about this, but I think it's important to just be reminded, like, this is a real thing. This is science. This is something that can literally change the trajectory of your business. So it sounds the alarm during adversity. So, but right behind it is the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making and self-control. So when you practice mental toughness by pushing through discomfort, you literally strengthen this area. So pushing through, like we talk about getting outside of our comfort zone, it strengthens that area, that amygdala. So the more you do hard things, the better your brain gets at handling them. I love that. And neuroscientists call this prefrontal strengthening. Pre, let me try again. Prefrontal strengthening. It's like lifting weights, but for your mental grit. You guys, I don't know about you, but to me, that's good news. Because if I'm not where I want to be, I know there's actions that I can take to get mentally tougher. So tell me one or two things. Drop some things that were uncomfortable with plexus, but now you push through and now you're like, I'm mentally stronger in this. Like for me, doing Power 30, it was really hard for me. I remember feeling shaky. I remember hating every time I had to do this. And now it doesn't bother me at all. I get excited about being with you. Talking my stories, yes. Getting on the phone, yes. Doing lives, sending large PV cards. John and I were just talking about that. Yes. And the good news is all of those things, when you do it, you get mentally grittier, you get stronger. Yes, getting in front of people. Amanda, I feel that so much. I'll never forget my little 355 index card shaking, talking about bile cleanse. I just laugh now. You know what I mean? Like even doing an online party, I remember feeling so inept. Like I did not even know how to copy and paste when I started Plexus. But now I can do it in my sleep. Yeah, being okay to say I'm not sure what the answer is. Yeah, feeling vulnerable, like feeling like you don't know. But man, isn't that awesome? Like when we can actually be real and then grow, and then those people that join our team, we can duplicate it down and say, hey, I remember not knowing how to copy and paste. It's going to be okay. So you can train your brain to be gritty. So neuroplasticity is our superpower, you guys. That's the good news, is that this is something that we can actually change. So Eric Worre said, the only difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the stories you keep telling yourself. So one thing that I love that Alita's having us do this week is she's having us write down our goals in the morning and then at night, and then the next day in the morning and then at night. Like the stories that you keep telling yourself matter. So that's not just motivational, it's neurological truth. The human brain is plastic, meaning it rewires itself based on experience. So if I'm focusing on my lack, or, I'm not good enough in this, or, my not thinking about my goals, not thinking about how I want to be icon by August 31st, it's like I'm not going to change the rewiring. So every time you replace fear with action, you build a new neural pathway. Every time you do the hard thing, your brain logs it as I can. I can get in front of people. I can call people. I can do lives. I can do sip and sees. And I think about Joey. Last night, if you missed our team call, you definitely want to watch a recording. Like that should be one that's probably saved in your notes, because what she shared was just so good, because she just put into action what her end goal was. Like she took the action to where she wanted to go. And so I messaged her this morning. I said, tell me, how did you start? Like, what made you start doing the things? Like, what made you go from, I can't remember where she started with her points in February, to hitting emerald in May? And it was, she just started the action. She literally started calling people in her back office that hadn't taken the products in years. Like, it didn't matter if they hated it. She called them. She put into action, and then the fire came, right? So that just, she put in a new neural pathway. I'm telling you, you couldn't stop that girl earning silver stars. She's developing silvers and senior silvers and golds and senior golds. She's got a ruby on her team. You know what I mean? And that all started because she started the action for her team. She led the way. And the good news is we're all able to do that same exact thing. We are all able to do that same thing. You need to start telling yourself, I can. So there's a book about grit, and it found that mental toughness beats talent when it comes to long-term success. Do you guys hear that? So when I'm in plexus and I want to go diamond or jewel, mental toughness beats talent when it comes to long-term success. This is something that we can literally change.
I agree with that. 100%.
Connie agrees. Thanks.
I
Counselor.
concur.
So number 3 that I want to talk about, pain is temporary, purpose is forever. I know we all have purpose. Let's live for our purpose. Your brain is wired to avoid pain, but you can override it. Like when I'm shaking and my husband's holding me up because my body couldn't stop shaking. I could hardly walk down the hall to the NICU. My brain overcame it, right? I just did it. I overrode that thought that I could not get down to that NICU to feed my baby. My brain overrode it, even though my body was screaming at me to not walk down that hallway.
It's like you see those videos of people that like they lift up a car to
Yes.
save someone.
Yeah, it's true. Mental toughness. In 1997, 18-year-old Kobe Bryant airballed 4 shots in a playoff game. The crowd laughed. But that night, he went straight to the gym, stayed until 2 a.m. That's mental toughness. You sign somebody up. They go fast. They fast start silver. They fast start senior silver. They fast start gold. They fast start senior gold. And then they disappear. But you keep going. You don't let it knock you off your feet. That's mental toughness. You have one of your dream teamers come on. They're like, yes, I want the business. Yes, let's go. They are amazing. And you just know they're going to go straight to diamond. And then they quit. They get their refund. But you keep going. That's mental toughness. Science shows that your brain will always take the path of least resistance unless trained otherwise. So our bodies are always going to be comfortable, right? I mean, man, you look around, we see that in our society, but we can train otherwise, and doing those uncomfortable things. It's called behavioral economics. Your brain calculates the cost of discomfort and tries to avoid it. So how can we break through, trying to avoid the discomfort? Well, I'll tell you the answer. Anybody have any ideas? How do we get over that discomfort?
Do it. Do it scared.
Do it scared? What else?
Do it until it becomes comfortable.
Just do it messy. Yeah. Do the uncomfortable things. You know, the big thing, because I thought about this last night when knew I was going to be talking about, I thought, you get an accountability partner, right? You get someone that's going to be like, we're doing this, like I'm coming to the gym because I know that I have an appointment at 8 a.m. with Connie. That accountability is everything. If I know I'm going to get kicked out of a group because I don't make a reel by 10 a.m., I'm going to do it. Even though reels are very outside my comfort zone. I do not know I did the lamest reel yesterday and literally it took me 2 hours. But guess what? Instead of focusing on how it sucked, I was like, that was so fun. I've learned so much. I can't wait to learn more. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but I talk to myself that way. And it's the truth. I honestly am excited about learning how to do reels. So accountability is everything. But because we do have a God-designed override button. It's called dopamine. And guys, lean into this. Listen to this. Dopamine doesn't just release when you succeed. It releases when you pursue something meaningful. It happens when you're taking the action. So what does that mean? That means it's going to be multiplied, right? The more action you take, the more it's going to multiply. So you train your thoughts, you transform your trajectory. What fires together, wires together. And I just love that because that's actually something we have control of. Because thoughts become things. The more you think something, the more likely your brain is to believe it, whether it's I'm not good at this or I can do hard things. We all know this. This is like a message that we heard for a long time. What you tell yourself matters. What you tell yourself matters. This is due to Hebb's law. Neurons that fire together wire together. So What you say to yourself is so if you think, man, I'm wrestling with this. It's like, no, I'm mentally tough. I'm a business owner. I'm going to show up whether I feel like it or not. I'm going to do the hard things. I'm going to do the things, even if I look like a complete idiot, but I'm going to get better at it. Like we've been talking about it. John Maxwell talks about failing forward. Other people like do it messy and then you're going to get better. Like that's just reality. That's life. You think when people start homeschooling, they just got it all together? I don't care if they've been in a schoolroom for 30 years. Homeschooling and teaching in a schoolroom full of kids is completely different. But you just got to do it messy. Mental toughness starts with the voice in your head. Train it to speak life. Be careful how you speak to yourself. And you know what? A good indicator, look at your children. How do they speak to themselves? You know what I mean? It's like, let's be that example for our families, our spouses, our partners of how do we talk to ourselves? And I hope that you guys are surrounded by people like, hey, don't say that. Tell yourself, don't say that. So my call to action to you is build your brain like a champion. You don't need motivation to succeed. You need a reason. Write this down. A reason, a routine. Talk to John Lester if you want a routine, and a resilient mind. A reason, a routine, and a resilient mind. Ask yourself, what belief do I need to rewire? Like, take a moment. Do this business, you have to have self reflection. You cannot grow unless you know what's going on. Self awareness is also a big thing because the people that are completely self aware, they won't grow. You have to be aware of something in order to be able to change it. So, what belief do I need to rewire? What hard thing will I choose to do today? Drop what you're going to do today that's going to be hard for you. I can tell you right now, I'm going to be working on reels. I'm going to be calling people in my back office that haven't ordered for years because success leaves clues. And if that's what it took for Joey Nay to hit Emerald the way she did and earn silver stars, that's telling me that's something I need to do. Yes, call my back office. And the good news is, guys, you don't have to be weird. You say, hey, how's it going? Yeah, call those white lines. For those of you that are like, what are white lines? Those are the people in your back office that don't order anymore. Call them. What am I building in the dark that will shine in the light? So start acting like the diamond leader you're becoming before the title catches up. You guys, good news. You can act like a diamond before you even have the title. You should be acting like a diamond before you have the title. All of us. I don't care if you're silver or not, or you have one person on your team. Start acting like a diamond. We're business owners, right? That's why we're here on a Tuesday morning. You're not just leading a business, you're leading your brain to become unshakable. Let's be unshakable, you guys. Let's be an example to this world what true mental toughness looks like. We have a lot of mentally tough people on our team. So we have the examples right in front of our face, right? Like we have someone that walked through crazy times in her life and went straight to the top. And that's good news. Like that's something to be grateful for, that we know what it looks like. So let's choose to be mentally tough for other people in our lives. I teach middle school girls, and sometimes I'm like, guys, you just got to be mentally tough. You got to be tougher than that. You know, let's be that example to young people in our lives. So your brain will protect you from discomfort, but your purpose is on the other side of it. So today, like, let's not wait on our goals for the end of August or the end of July. Let's start today earning that icon, because it's going to be mentally tough. Like there's going to be days that we're not going to want to show up, but if we're mentally tough now and bold and courageous, I'm talking to somebody right now, then guess what? It's going to pay off, and you're going to be that purpose of helping people change people's lives. You're going to be living that out. And we literally have that kind of tool in our tool belt of being impactful in this world. I love you guys. Let's go.